Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. I'd love to thank my subscribers, my viewers, for your pleasant, interesting, respectful, mindful comments. I really appreciate each and every subscriber, viewer. I have quality subscribers in my channel and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. A week ago, I played this interview for y'all. It's from Fox News. That's a big network. Steve was talking in this interview, saying that the suspect did not need to go upstairs. And then he mentioned something about my common sense tells me and then he continues by saying Kaylee did call 911. Now, for all of y'all that have been in this case from the very beginning, like me, y'all would have heard this on big channels that I give credit to. Ikemel, Grizzly True Crime, Zav Girl, they all have mentioned the same thing. And they've understood it the same way like I've understood it. I want my subscribers to help me with this. Does Steve say Kaylee did call 911? Or does he say she didn't call 911? Now there's a big difference between did and didn't. One has an NT. Didn't. True Crime 11 was talking about this yesterday, and she debunked it by saying Steve said Kaylee didn't call 911. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I don't believe so many people could be wrong. We all said did, and I heard Steve saying she did call 911. What is important is we are just YouTube creators and YouTubers, and we all have invited ourselves in this case because we want the correct justice. But it's not in our place to be debunking interviews on big networks like Fox News. If we have a question, we need to call or contact Fox News about this. Or contact Steve Gongalves on Facebook and ask him what he meant or what he said. But let's not debunk it before we are sure. Now this is what I heard. Steve says Kaylee did call 911. Many YouTube creators like Ikemel have mentioned that too. But True Crime 11 is saying he said Kaylee didn't. So just because one or two creators believe they heard something, we can just say, in my humble opinion. Do not debunk it, because you can't. This is under Fox News, and they have their own copyrights, they have their own power. And by debunking something you're not sure, is a problem, because we are not journalists. I'm a mental health counselor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. and I'm not a journalist. And neither is True Crime 11. So kindly please stop debunking people's interviews. Just ask. Ask Steve. People go to Steve's website and ask him questions that are not even relevant. Why don't you ask him this important question? Do not debunk it. And this is not the first time. That channel debunks things that are really important. And this is about getting justice for the 4 victims. This is not about YouTube creators. And this is not about debunking interviews that are made by the parents. With all due respect. Now, my favorite people, my subscribers, viewers, let me know. I could be wrong. He could have said didn't, but I heard clearly did. And I may end up contacting Steve just to ask him that. Because I don't want to be putting out false rumors there, especially when I've been working so hard on this case for over 2 years now.
Everywhere that they are with you, they're praying for you, and they're also hoping for justice to come sooner rather than later for your daughter and her friends. You mentioned here, you talked about the manner in which Kaylee and Maddie were killed is different. And what does that tell you, and what are the police telling you that that means?
There's a couple things that tell me with common sense, but I'm not a professional, so I want to specify that. But they've said the entry point was the slider or the window. It was in the middle floor. So to me, he doesn't have to go upstairs. His entry and exit are available without having to go upstairs or downstairs. His entry and exit are available without having to go upstairs or downstairs. Looks like he probably may have not gone downstairs. We don't know that for sure, but he obviously went upstairs. So I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. Texts, messages, she did call 911. She went upstairs. So I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I tell by my daughter's texts, messages, she did call 911. She could tell by my daughter's texts, messages, she did call 911. She wasn't lines of what she.
I heard Steve saying, I can tell from my daughter's messages, she did call 911. If he said she didn't, he would have to put more pressure on the word. Didn't. She did. She did call 11. And the reason I feel this is so important is not to debunk anyone, but it's because it's an important clue in this case. If Kaylee called 911, nobody calls 911 for fun. She was concerned about something. We only call 911 when it's an emergency. People don't call 911 for fun. Let's play this one more time.
Entry and exit are available without having to go upstairs or downstairs. Looks like he probably may have not gone downstairs. We don't know that for sure, but he obviously went upstairs. So I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I can tell by my daughter's texts, messages, she did call 911. She wasn't saying anything along the lines of what she's using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I can kind of tell by my daughter's texts, messages, she did call 911.
She did call 911, and she wasn't saying anything, basically that she needed help or there was a concern, I guess. I remember this from the very beginning, following this case on big channels all of us coming together on chats trying to figure out what exactly happened. Kaylee did call 911. I wonder if Kaylee called 911 at 3:01, because apparently there was a call, 911 call from the Sigma Chi fraternity party. There was a 911 call for the Banfield boys, the alcohol stop, and I've always heard that there was a call from 1122 Kings Road. And we will find out more about that at the trial. But please let me know in the comments. Is Steve saying she did or she didn't? It sounds to me like she did call 111.
Obviously went upstairs, so I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I can kind of tell by my daughter's texts, messages, she did call 911. She wasn't saying anything along the lines of what...
She didn't call